Okay, I'm just doing this video to raise your awareness of what happened at the Coryton oil refinery in Essex in 2012. Basically, because what I can see happen with the fracking industry, the government are going to attempt to use energy security and jobs. They're already using jobs, but I think energy security especially as an argument to push this industry through and get it to be accepted by the general population. And so I'm just going to read this article to you. Insolvency law seals fate of Coryton refinery. London Reuters. When Petroplus went bankrupt earlier this year, many in the industry thought that at least the Coryton oil refinery in England, the most modern and efficient of its 5 plants in Western Europe, would survive. So far, it is the only one to have closed. Doomed by the priorities of bankruptcy law, the government's laissez-faire approach and strategic calculations by trading houses who saw more opportunities from other refinery assets. Now, what's really interesting about this is not a video to support the oil industry, but what I'm trying to say is this argument about energy security and jobs is nothing further from the truth, and the government couldn't care less because they've been destroying our energy security and our ability to have skilled a workforce in order to create the fuel that we need. Now, my granddad worked at Coryton Oil Refinery, and this is why I went to the meeting held on Wednesday the 11th of July 2012, and it's really interesting to go there. So much came out during that meeting, and not much of it has come out into the public eye, and maybe at a later date it'd be good to speak about what was said at that meeting. But the Conservative MP didn't even turn up. The local MP didn't even turn up to this meeting, which was about 850 jobs being axed, in skilled jobs in the area, which will affect the local economy and affect Southern England's strategic ability to create its own fuel. Who did turn up, however, was Richard Howard, MEP, who was a Labour MP, but and apparently by all accounts he did as much as he could to keep it open. But anyway, I'll just read this out to you now. Justice for Coryton. Public inquiry now. They were demanding a public inquiry. A bitter blow. The proposed closure of Coryton Oil's refinery will cost over 850 local people their job. It is a devastating blow for Corringham and the local community. For over 59 years, families have relied on the refinery for employment, but now skilled workers face a future of uncertainty. Local businesses are set to suffer too. Coryton's closure is expected to drain over 250 million from the regional and wider economy. The closure of Coryton won't just affect the livelihoods of ordinary working people, but it also puts at risk the future security of our fuel supplies. Absolutely. Questions to answer. The administrators, PwC and the government have questions to answer. Our government washed their hands of Coryton while their French counterparts stepped in and saved its sister refinery in France. Despite potential buyers wanting to keep Coryton refining, the administrators sold the site to a consortium headed by Shell, who opened a massive oil refinery in Rotterdam, which is now supplying southern England. The consortium is planning to import fuel from Europe and turn Coryton to a fuel storage terminal only, employing a handful of people. We fear that this was the government and the administrators' plan all along, and all the options to find a buyer were not explored because the consortium was waiting in the wings. The workforce has been let down and left in the dark by the government and the administrators. They worked tirelessly to keep the refinery going on the false premise that a buyer could be found, and it would have been if it was allowed. The workforce demands answers. Come to the public meeting and join the call for a public inquiry. Now, that was back in 2012, and what I'm saying is, if the argument for fracking is about energy security, jobs, economy, then that is all nonsense, because it's another fossil fuel, and they just let it go, but in the process of letting it go, they destroyed our ability to be self-sufficient in our own fuel resources. That's the point I'm trying to make, and this is not a video to support the oil industry, because I'm just going to leave you with where we should be heading. And you need to investigate the work of Nikola Tesla and free energy, and I'll just leave you with a quote from him, if it comes up. If you want to find the secret of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. The scientists of today think deeply instead of clearly. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane.